Andy Broadaway here, and you're in for a treat. This is the second time I've interviewed this author, and he's now came out with a new book. So I don't want to take away the thunder of the storyline or what the first book was about, because I'm not the author, obviously. That's why we bring him on the show. So, Dixon, please introduce yourself. Give me a quick little background. If those people didn't listen to the first interview, got a little background of you. So the floor is yours, as they would say.
All right, Andy. Well, thanks for having me. A little bit about me. I grew up in Idaho. Went to school on a rodeo scholarship. Went to Brigham Young University. I went there because I was a wild child and I needed to have a school with rules. Graduated there. Went into business, but always wanted to get into showbiz. So I moved to LA. I ended up being a TV showrunner, producer, director, writer, all that stuff. After that of being on the road and working many hours and jobs always ending, and I did very well in it, happily, lucky, I decided to get into the gym business. And so that's where I am now. I'm a Krav Maga instructor, so I always like the gym and getting into shape. But I always had in my mind, and it started all the way back at BYU, about writing books. And I've always wanted to make people laugh. And I always want to make people open up their minds because I see we're trained to close our minds from politics. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
From religion to this is the way it is, and this is the only way. And there's so much knowledge out there, and so many other scriptures and stories that is it true or is it not? There's a lot of conspiracy theories. So I want people to open up their minds. So that's where I wrote my first book, which is Moon People, the Journals of Lordaya. And yeah, that's the Lord right there, to a speak. And then I have my second book, which Andy's talking to me about. And this is the Journals of Herbie Hernandez, completely different book. But Lordaya and his daughter are in both these books that lay over, which I made a trilogy. And I'm in editing in book number 3, the Journals of Luna right now. And I got to tell you, there is so much fun writing these books because you're always researching and always searching for stories. And I can't turn the mind off. So I wrote you guys a couple books and I'm going to keep rolling with it.
That's awesome. So give us a little premise, a little sneak peek into book number 1, because you said there's a little bit of there's some twists and turns, and you talk about a bunch of stuff that's in there that's controversial and that's in there. And if you want to know more about that, you can go to the first interview. But give us a synopsis of that one, and then give us the general storyline without giving the story on the second book.
Okay, perfect. Well, this has been out for about 1.5 years. Again, this is Moon People. And really, I just loaded this full of conspiracy theories. So when you read this and you find out that these guys came across and they live in the moon, everything's a conspiracy theory. So I have an Easter egg that runs through it. So every number's connected to something as well, too. But the moon's a spaceship. Adam and Eve were growing as slaves here. There's a race out there. It's called the Anunnaki. These are all in the Sumerian scriptures. There are charts, Egyptian charts of these angels coming down. They're named Inkai and Eli, and I just made a story to make a fun story out of it. So this has been through several book groups, which, by the way, pleases me because they go back and forth and they try to find the conspiracy theories. And I say find 11 conspiracy theories in there. There's more than that in it, but I just try to make it fun. So basically, Lordaya is my main character. He's just a scientist coming to mine gold from Earth because their planet needs it because their atmosphere is dying and they need to get a bunch of gold and spray it up in their atmosphere to save them. So when they come here, they lost a lot of their crew and their people. So they had to grow their own slaves. So Lordaya took his own image, used his own genes where people did come out in their own image, and he made the first atom bunch. But it wasn't one atom. It was 47 of them. Notice that that's up to 11 there.
Yeah.
And he made them slaves. But they were like his children, too. Well, they needed more slaves, so they made the Eve bunch out of one of the Adam's ribs because they just took out his DNA, and they grew the atoms. And then when they were done mining gold, they just left them there, which is us humans. So we all think we're the almighties. We're just basically the leftover trash, so to speak, that they just left here. Maybe that's a harsh word, but the Lord that we pray to is just a guy as average as you and me who came down to the planet. Now, when he comes back, like the time of Moses, and has a flashlight and a Bic lighter, he is considered a god. And he hears stories about pray to the Lord when he comes back. So I make it fun. So I talk about Adam and Eve. I have Noah's flood in there. Noah is one of my characters in this as well, too. This
Yeah.
could be another take on it. I have Sodom and Gomorrah, and it really is a journey of a father and a daughter.
Very, very interesting. So let's take it to book number 2, which is the journey of Herbie Hernandez. Where did the idea come from on that one?
Okay, so here's the journals of Herbie Hernandez, and the book was a real thinker on the first one, so I wanted to have fun with this one, and I think all of us would love to have superpowers, and so I started asking people, if you had 3 superpowers, what would be your superpowers? And people chose from being invisible to being bulletproof, to be able to fly, to be able to teleport. Mine is to be bulletproof, to be able to teleport, and I can't remember. I maybe a third. I'm sure I had a third one. I want to shapeshift, but
Okay.
but the real thing is, I would love to fight crime. I would like to get rid of bad people and bad guys, and
Yeah.
so I put this into a book. And just this average guy, he's a Hispanic kid, and how I kind of got them. I was watching my gardener's son work, and I was going like, this kid here. I wish I had millions of dollars to get him to go to college because he's a good kid, and he was top of his class. And I just kind of made up the story is that this kid, Herbie Hernandez, was the top of his class graduating, and he had to join the Marines because he didn't get any scholarships to go to any colleges. So in the Marines, he got wounded along with his buddy, and now he's in New York just living a crap life, just trying to make ends meet. He's not going to go back to Idaho where he grew up. His buddy lost his legs, and Herbie's taking responsibility of that and taking care of him until one day he's walking his elderly dog, and lightning strikes right by him. Big old flames come out, and 22-year-old Herbie Hernandez is lifted up in the air. So that doesn't freak him out enough. Out pops a naked woman in his arms, a beautiful naked woman. And here is the life-changing story of Herbie Hernandez. This lady, since she came into his life, changed everything. Well, Herbie went to rescue her, being the Marine. Running back, I hope I'm not telling too much of the story, but
Yeah, you might want to stop. You might want to stop on that because I already got a lot of the premise of the story already. Yeah.
I will tie it up. But meeting this beautiful naked woman that came into his life, crazy things started happening to him.
Wow.
His war wounds started healing, to staring at a fly. That's why I have a fly on my cover. He shakes, and he has no owner's manual of this. So in the meantime, all kinds of world powers what Herbie has.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. So I got to ask the question because right now a lot of people are using ChatGPT to write stories.
Right.
I already know the answer to the question. You wrote this. You did not use ChatGPT to write the story.
I wrote every word of this story here.
Yes, exactly. Now, there's some good books coming out with ChatGPT, so I'm not going to put that down. But what I'm saying is, you're one of the classic authors that wrote, and we'll call classic authors now, that wrote every single word of the book and the story. Storyline came out of your head, and you write it. And it's very well written. I love the theme that goes through it, and there's a lot of my favorite parts that are in there. So that's great. So give us a taste, because I understand, and I hope I'm not like beating you to the punch line here, but you've got a third book you're working on. You mentioned that earlier, right?
I do. So just so you guys know, I had this book written before ChatGPT even came out, both these books. So this one was already written before ChatGPT. So there you go. And ChatGPT does some awesome things, but it doesn't write my books.
Right.
Okay, so the third book, as I mentioned, the first book has Lordaya and Luna as my main characters. The Lordaya is based on the Lord. his daughter, and you have to read that in the first book, how she surfaced from it. They had
Okay.
a reunion. So they're in the second book. So
Right.
they're trying to help Herbie out. Well, in the third book, and Luna came from foster homes because Lordia disappeared for 20 years and they accidentally reunited. So all of a sudden, the world's going to end with an asteroid hitting it. And one of the characters that's on the moon with them, Leonardo, has created the time machine. So Luna is tasked with saving 1,100 people out of the whole world of 7 billion. Who are these
Wow.
people going to be? So this is a girl
Yeah.
that came from foster homes, from robbing homes, who has the world of everything on her shoulders. So
Wow.
it's now her journey, and that's the Journals of Luna. Is the third book. Probably one of my
Very.
best books.
Yeah.
I get to write it in a female voice. And boy, is that a whole different world, especially when
Right.
I
Right.
get critiqued by my female other writers.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, just to recap, so we've got both a paperback version of the book, right? That's a
Yeah.
paperback version, and then you've got this beautiful hard copy version of the book, which I absolutely love. I just got a copy of it earlier, and boy, that's just gorgeous. It's very nice to put in your hand. Open up. The pages are great. Both the paperback and the hard copy. I preference hard copy books. As you can see, there's a lot of hard copy books that I have on my bookshelf behind me, but I love the hard copy feel of it. So, of the two books, that's my favorite. And so now we're thinking about, now you got a trilogy, and I'm pretty sure that your mind can't shut off. So there's probably a fourth and a fifth book behind all that, and the theories behind it. So, as we wrap up the interview, give us a like why should someone and why should someone buy the book, and who is your audience? So if you're thinking about who is the target audience here, what do you feel that it would be? So if we're talking to parents, is this a book that you would give? Obviously, because of the naked girl, you're not going to give it to somebody that's young in the book. But where would you feel that the storyline or the book really fits in?
Okay, so the first book, the Moon People one, all these are sci-fi books,
Yeah.
but they're not a real rich, crazy sci-fi. It's not like spaceships floating around and all this technology. They're as simple as you and I are living in a world that's slightly skewed. There's an alien that causes Herbie to get his superpowers. Lordia's from another planet, but everything's anchored to something. Who is my audience? The first one's kind of a smart person, but people that just want to read something that they can enjoy. I wrote this in a very easy way to follow through so that you can go through it, hopefully laugh, and maybe Google something on there. Um,
Mm,
I'm going to actually add a question and answer in the back of the book of all the things I have. And then I do have the answers, and that's going to be able to get on my website. The second book, Herbie's just about fun. So you don't really have to think. You can pick up and fly right through it. It's about a kid who gets the superpowers and the
yeah.
journey that he goes on. The first book, not so much for your kids. I have a little bit of a fan base, and the parents love me, and their kids read it, and I know their kids, and they laughed and they thought it was great. But do you want to read that Adam and Eve? Is it the Adam and Eve story that you had? Luna, the first book, has a trash mouth on her because I
Okay.
want her to grow and transition. And in the third book, she's a completely different woman out of it
Interesting.
because of
Yeah.
where she has become. So the second and third book, that's all ages can read.
Yeah.
There's a little cussing in it, but Luna's trying really hard not to. Um, but my audience is it's sci-fi, but I think it's people who likes a comedy as well too.
Mm.
Definitely satire comedies in all three of these.
Wow, that's awesome. And you mixed a little bit of conspiracy, and if I remember right, in one of the books, I don't remember which one it was, you actually brought up Gilligan's Island. What book was
That's
that
in
in?
the Herbie.
The
Uh,
Herbie one. Okay. Yeah.
he's practicing his shape shifting,
Oh,
and
okay.
and he has to focus on a picture. And it so happened Gilligan's Island was playing at 3 in the morning, so he started
Okay.
changing into Gilligan Island characters.
Okay, got it, got it. That was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I mean, absolutely. I'd sit around with my two sisters, and after we watch a show, we'd start making a list of the stuff we're going to go buy, and then go find an island, or better be prepared or something.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty funny in that one. That you intertwined, put that in the storyline is really cool. So, where do you see like the overall like vision of this going now? Because you're now on the third book. Where do you kind of see this shifting into? What do you aspire to want this to become?
A big dream is, I think it's in the same eyes of every author. I would love this to be a TV series, like a Netflix or some, or even a movie, so that the whole world can have fun with it. And when I write, is that I first see the movie in my head here, and then I write it. So a lot of people say like this reads like a movie, and I go, yeah, that's how I write it. I see it, and then I guess I plagiarize the movie in my head because I'm just taking transcriptions of it and
Right.
putting it down. I've talked to some other people about maybe doing a podcast first with the books, and
Yeah.
that's still, it's not just reading the book. It's a podcast series, and I'm talking to people about Moon people on that one.
Right.
But if that goes that way, I'd be tickled to death. I would think it would move into my true love would be a TV series. And like
Right.
I said, I got the 3 books. I got plenty of episodes in there and many directions to go with.
Right. And that comes from your background, obviously, because
Yeah.
you were a showrunner for shows, so it's kind of a natural segue for you to go there. Yes, I agree with you. A lot of the authors aspire and have a part of their vision about it becoming a movie or a TV series or something. But because of the training and your experience that you've already put that thought into place already, and you begin with that vision to start with, which I love, because a lot of people will they'll write goals or things that they want to achieve, like on my board I've got pictures of things that I want to achieve, and along the same line about how many people that I can help get what they want before I get what I want, right?
Yeah.
So but you put it in a vision form, and you visioned it as a movie, and then you just backtraced it and wrote the book. That's a lesson right now to any authors that are thinking about writing a book, like in your case, to put themselves in that position. So that's great. Very
Thank
cool.
you.
All right.
Thank
So as we wrap up, where do we find your website? So, give me the website first.
All right, I'll let you guys view my name. So that's Dixon Troyer right there.
Right.
And it's simple. It's dixontroyer.com.
Right on.
And that'll take you to the Moon People. I have that out in audiobook as well.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, thank you. I got the Herbie Hernandez book on there as well too. But you guys can also get a hold of me on that too. So at the very bottom of it, you guys can fill out a form, email me. I love to answer any one of your questions, especially if you guys want to talk to me about Moon People and say like, hey, what are conspiracy theories? Is this connected to that? Is this connected to that? That makes me extremely happy when I get asked questions.
That's awesome. And I'm sure you get a lot of people emailing in and saying, hey, I read this in the book. I found the Easter egg, because obviously in the first book, there's at least one Easter egg, right? Mm-hmm. There could be more. So that people can read through there and, figure it out. And you already alluded to the 11. So there's the 11 shows up several times. I forget how many, but you're not going to say. I know we talked about it before, but there's quite a lot of 11s in there.
That's a big clue for you guys right there.
Yeah. There could be somewhere in there. The 7 + 4 is 11. So that's cool. Well, awesome. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
I think the main thing is please go check out my website. And again, if you have any questions, email me.
Awesome. So on the website, you can go there, dixontroyer.com, and it's got a lot of information about the books, but also links directly to where the books could be bought. And
Yeah.
so, you know, you can go to Amazon and buy the paperback, the hard copy, and then the audiobook is on there too. So they'll be able to get access to that. So that's exciting. Fantastic.
Yeah. And that hard copy looks really nice. I was really excited and happy how that looked. And it's not like the paper cover around it that we always take off when we read it. It is
Right.
a hard copy book.
Yeah, it's
Which is-
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
If I was to buy a book and make a recommendation to buy a book, which I'm recommending that you buy this book, just buy the hard copy version. It's only a few bucks more. Get that one, and I think you'll be really pleased at the quality. It's going to last a while. Something you can even pass around. So cool, awesome. All right, well, thank you, Dixon, for your time, giving us the insights of this. Looking forward to hearing about book number 3 in the future.
Yeah. Hey, Andy, thank you for your time too. I really
Oh, you're
appreciate
welcome.
this.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot.